I don't drink soda.
I think we could probably make that a t-shirt at the very least.
Yeah, I'd wear that shirt, wouldn't you?
Wait, what is it again?
That's pudding it mild.
That's pudding.
And then it has like a picture of some sugar-free pudding. You'd have to have like the box also that says it's sugar-free.
Yeah, but it can't. It has to look like a Jell-O box, but not be a Jell-O box for copyright purposes.
Yeah, it would just say sugar-free pudding.
Sugar-free pudding.
Yeah,
with like the dollop, the classic dollop of pudding.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, cool. So new merch drop coming soon. Pudding it mildly.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Are we ready?
Yeah, I thought we were knee deep already.
Well, we haven't done a countdown.
Oh, of course.
Show's not a show without a countdown.
Yeah, you really got to have that countdown. In 5, in 4, in 3, in 2.
Yo, welcome to the Natural Habitat Podcast. My name is Mikey Booyah.
My name is Awesome Tyler. This episode is brought to you by Diet Mountain Dew. Get a taste of the low-calorie dew. Low-calorie dew.
Is this episode brought to you by Diet Mountain Dew? I didn't hear about any sort of merger.
I thought it was.
Who told you that?
Jerry,
do we have a deal with Mountain Dew now? Diet Mountain Dew, sorry.
Right now, with Diet Mountain Dew, you can unlock Apple Music for 3 months free just by scanning the QR code on the back. So pick up that Diet Mountain Dew and do the low-calorie dew.
Oh. All right, well, thank you to Diet Mountain Dew for sponsoring today's episode. Go out and get you some. Well, actually, should we wait for them to go get some Diet Mountain Dew?
Yeah.
So,
if they're quick about it.
Well, we'll just do a little we'll stall. Yeah. We'll do a little back and forth, little banter.
Little yipping and yapping.
Chitting
and chatting.
No, we can't wait. We can't wait the whole time. So you guys could pause it, or you could take this in the car and go get yourself some Diet Mountain Dew. Use the code.
No, there's no code.
No, there's a code on the cap or something, or on the bottle.
There's a QR code. You scan the QR code and get that Apple Music
That's
trial.
What I meant. Go get the Diet Mountain Dew. Use the code that's on the bottle. Get yourself an Apple Mountain Dew trial.
Apple Music.
Apple Music.
It's like Spotify for assholes.
Yeah. So I take it that you don't use Apple Music.
No, I use Spotify.
So I have been thinking about making the jump to Apple Music.
I just have too much invested in my Spotify playlists and like all the stuff that I've built on Spotify.
Yeah.
I don't think I could spend the time accumulating the library of songs I've
curating your taste.
Yeah, it's just like
So here's the first computers here. He's the only artificially intelligent.
We haven't heard from Free Candy in a few weeks.
Yeah,
we're hoping he's all
missing,
right.
But before we go into that, I've been thinking about switching to Apple Music. Right, Free Candy. We'll get to him.
What's your motivation behind that?
So my true motivation behind this switch is lossless audio.
They have that on Spotify, don't they?
They do in a sense, but you can't go full lossless. It'll just go like you could go high quality, but you have to go in and change your settings, and it'll like constantly be changing it back.
Yeah.
To where when you're on cellular, it'll kind of just play like a standard quality one.
Right, because they're trying to save you on data.
And that's why I don't know if anybody out here listening to the show remembers CD players in the car. But there was a good era where CD players and Bluetooth and an aux cord. I mean, that was a whole meme. Pass the aux when you get the aux and you play this,
Yeah.
So you're aware of the aux, you're aware of Bluetooth, and then CDs were part of that audio medium, which is car audio. And when you would hook up the aux, it would kind of sound like flat. When you put in a CD, everything was so crisp. The bass hit really good.
Even Bluetooth, you're losing some of that quality.
Yeah, Bluetooth, aux, you're losing that quality. You're listening to this like compressed, flattened version of the song, which is best for, like you said, data and whatever you're listening to it on. But you're really missing out on this CD quality sound that you would get in your car when you turn on a song and you turn it all the way up. I'll turn it all the way up to 30 and it still is kind of flat. I could talk over it. I want it to blow my fucking...
You want the dynamics to be out of this world.
Yes.
Now, I remember, back in the 90s, people would say of CDs, oh, this is, like this doesn't have the warmth of a classic record playing.
It's true.
Or even a cassette tape. And it seems like with the advent of every new generation of how we listen to music, like we look back with, fondness on the previous generation and be like, oh, it doesn't sound like that anymore. Are you sure that you're not just doing that?
No, because for one, different strokes. Okay. And for two, it really all depends on what music you're listening to, because a lot of the music that the generation before us listened to, the vinyl generation, does sound better on vinyl. Like if you think about if you're listening to
Steely Dan.
To some Steely Dan, if you're listening to like a real spacey Pink Floyd song or some Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah, the ELO, the Electric Light Orchestra.
Yeah. Them. Emerson, Lake and Palmer. You're listening to Three Dog Night.
Three Dog Nights. Well, you can only listen to Three Dog Night on vinyl.
So on vinyl, everything's going to sound nice and warm and separated, and it's going to sound like a hum.
Just nice. It's just a real it's a cozy experience. That audio is just grabbing you and it's giving you a little hug and a pat on the back.
But that music is like a spacey kind of. That's kind of the vibe. And
also it was recorded in analog, and it was recorded on reel to reel as opposed to being digitally recorded as all music is now. So now music's made digitally and it's played digitally, whereas before it was recorded manually, like an analog. I don't know.
When you were taking something that was made manually and then play it digitally, you had that transition.
Yeah.
But if you did it, because still to this day, I don't understand how we figured out vinyl records.
See, nowadays, I'm listening to some Playboy Cardi. Yeah, I'm listening to some Playboy Cardi in my Cardi, and I want it to sound, like a computer, like the hum of a computer fan.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I want it to sound digital. I want it to sound
digital music. Yeah,
yeah.
So it definitely fits the medium, and that's what I think that a lot of the stuff that we're listening to in the car works better on CD than it does on vinyl.
That's possible, but just not the Playboy Cardi.
Not the Playboy Cardi. No. Now Apple promises this lossless audio, which I've been so conditioned with this squashed audio, I don't even realize that I'm listening to it half the time. And that becomes the baseline and the norm. So when I listen to this lossless audio, it just kind of seems louder.
Are you assuming this, or do you
Now here's the thing, I got AirPods, which I'm wearing underneath my headphones. And they gave me 6 months free of Apple Music.
Oh, see, that's why you're there. Also, you'll save the money on your Spotify.
So I thought of this before I got offered that thing. You know what I mean?
Now, I wonder if you could combine that with the great deal that Diet Mountain Dew is offering you right now. You get the 3, add on to those 6. That's 9 months.
9 months. That's a whole gestation period for a baby.
That's the bulk of a year.
You probably can, because at a lot of grocery stores, they let you stack up coupons. You could double up.
So yeah, be sure to take advantage of that great stuff.
So we have a lot of stuff going on out here in the world. Yep. One of which is this, depending on how you look at it, tragic or terrific situation that's happening in the Gaza Strip and in Israel.
Yeah. It's
so there's a fight over there, I think.
Something going on, something that it doesn't seem like a good time for anyone. It kind of just seems like a lot of bad vibes over there. A lot of finger pointing going on, a lot of people dying, and we don't really know who's to blame per se.
So when I first heard about this, it was music festival attacked by Hamas, and a bunch of people killed from all over Europe. It wasn't just Israeli people.
And my understanding was that they arrived on parachutes. They parachuted into the music festival. Is that
paragliders?
Yeah,
with fans.
With I'm picturing Uzis. They have Uzis in both hands.
You think they were akimbo? They had both hands full. I think in the video I saw, he had rifle type.
See, that just seems so inconvenient. Like, I figure like a Uzi would be much easier to maneuver with.
Yeah. I think that is more action movie version, which I guarantee you in the movie adaptation of this,
they're going to have Uzis.
They're going to have Uzis.
Yeah.
Dude. They're definitely going to have Uzis. At least one guy's going to have 2 Uzis.
Yeah.
So they came in on paragliding stuff with Uzis.
I mean, it's automatic weaponry, we'll say.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know exactly.
They killed a bunch of people, and then that's how it was originally billed to me by the media. They were like, this happened, and I said, that's terrible.
See, my understanding is that this whole situation, if you want to call it, this whole sitch has been going on for a number of years between the two parties.
Yeah.
And like the rest of the world's just kind of been like, like you guys need to settle this, you need to sort out your differences. Like before we came on air, we suggested getting them all locked up in a rec center and just having them talk it out. Lock in at a rec center.
Lock in at the rec center, that's where you take 2 opposing parties, you put them inside of a rec center that has, basketball court. You got
ping pong
table. You got foosball, stuff like that. You got maybe a N64.
Yeah.
And then you have probably like a bucket of just assorted balls.
Yeah, you're going to have some pizza there probably.
Pizza, you're going to have pizza come. And music. And you kind of just like have these people. At first, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, first it's going to be fierce competition. You're going to be like, having to keep the peace to an extent to prevent it from getting violent. But
you're going to want to keep them active, maybe playing games.
Be very competitive at first. But
let's do a game where everybody stands over here and step forward if you've ever had your window shot out by Hamas. And then people will step forward and they'll go, wait, you're from Israel. Wait, you're from Palestine.
And then
we're actually the same.
They're eventually going to meet in the middle and they're going to hug it out. And that would be kind of the solution that we had come up with. Another option.
That happens in the first couple hours and the rest of the night is fun. The rest of the night is so much fun.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
It's crazy.
Another option we were saying would be you get Willie Nelson and Snoop Dogg, and you get the leader of Palestine, the leader of Israel. They come together. They have a powwow. They have a smoke sesh. You're smoking some weed right there. That's what they do. They rip some doobies. Willie Nelson gets to telling some stories from the road. Snoop gets to telling some stories from Crippin', some Crippin' stories. Like the Palestinian and Israeli leaders get super stoned and they just start getting the giggles and laughing. They get the munchies. They eat a bunch of stuff. And, like after a while, they don't even realize it, but like they're jamming out to some Creedence Clearwater Revival, definitely on vinyl.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay. And then, like they both go back to their respected parties and, be like, hey, we've got a truce. And then they share the land.
Yeah.
Like, isn't that what this comes down to, really? Everybody needs to share the land.
And now what I think another good idea would be is the flip-flop, which is where you take all the Palestinians, you have them move to Israel proper. You take all the Israelis, you have them move to Palestine.
It's like a Freaky Friday type deal?
Freaky Friday, yeah. And they have to live by each other's rules. You know what I mean? So they get to see what life is like.
There was like a reality show like that, Wife Swap?
Trading Wives or Wife Swap?
Yeah. You do like a wife swap with them.
Do a wife swap with the citizens of these 2 countries. You flip-flop them. And then maybe do like a half the year on, half the year off thing. Yeah. Where they share the land, they share the oppression, and kind of see, it's really all about like empathy, sympathy, feeling what the other person's going through.
Now,
because from what I understand, Israel's like pretty lit. Israel is like an advanced country.
Well, we give them a lot of money. They're a well-funded, and I think that's from like all the Christians, because part of the Christian belief is that the Israelis need to be in that land for the rapture to happen, so they can go to Christian heaven. I don't think that this is they want the Zionists in Israel for their own sake, but more for the Christian benefit.
Yeah. And I think that's something that maybe some of you people listening are Christian, or your parents are Christian, and you say stuff like, what does this matter to me? I'm Christian. They're Jewish. I don't even like Jewish people.
Yeah. Like
they killed Jesus.
Yeah. Or like, like you have these bigotry and this bigotry going on in your heart, and you're like, well, I hate Jewish people. I also hate Muslims. Like, so like, as far as I'm concerned, they can both fuck off.
Yeah.
But that's
yeah, but show unification through this.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't really know.
But yeah, Christian people, I guess apparently want them to stay there. Want this.
Yeah, they want Israel to have control of the land, I think, for the most part, and that's why you're getting, the United States typically being like a support Israel stance.
Yeah.
And
because we're a very God-fearing country.
Now this is kind of like this is a little bit out there, and it's not one of the solutions we had previously discussed. But do you remember the movie Independence Day?
Yeah,
you had like an alien invasion,
and
like the different, all the different people, all the different countries kind of had to come together as one to fight off the alien invasion. What if you do like a mock alien invasion and you make like the Israel and Palestinians think that they're being invaded by like UFOs and aliens?
Yeah.
And that they have to come together to fight this, now they're really being invaded. Now, now like an alien race is trying to take over the Holy Land. And then like, if they don't come together to fight it, there's not going to be, anyone to take that land. It's going to be, overrun by our new alien overlords.
Yeah, I think that is a good idea, but it makes me think of there was this time in like World War I where a bunch of wolves attacked these soldiers on a battlefield, and they stopped the war for like a whole day to hunt down and kill these wolves, because the wolves were like,
so there was like a temporary truce.
They killed the wolves, and then after all the wolves were dead, they went back to killing each other.
So I guess it would just be like a stopgap, really, if anything.
But it really could be a good time to sneak people in and out, when they're fighting the aliens. You can kind of do whatever you want. They're going to be occupied. No. I do like that. That is good. But I didn't really know a lot about... I think we've both learned a lot about the whole Israel-Palestine thing, which I've just like heard mentioned. I've heard Free Palestine. I've heard Israel versus Palestine.
I've heard
holy war.
There's been a lot of things said by Kanye West the past year or so about the Jewish people, and I think that kind of factors into it a little bit. You know what I mean?
It kind of does.
You
can't discount it.
Yeah, like we've been really kind of sticking up for the Jewish people. So to see them come under attack like this, through violence now, a lot of people are real inclined to call it anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
I'm not informed enough to know exactly, but I've learned through, people's Instagram stories that that's no longer an excuse, and that I have to make myself informed, and I have to choose a side.
Yeah. There have been a lot of influencers, a lot of models that have been out here telling people to get informed and
involved. You can donate to one of the two sides. I'm thinking that Palestine probably is.
I think it's mostly Palestine that wants the donations.
Yeah, I think Israel is well funded.
Yeah, but I didn't really know a lot. I thought that Hamas, who I equate them to like the Taliban in my head, just like a terrorist organization that's disconnected from the country, and then that they did this horrible thing in Israel, and then come to find out that there's like this whole fucked up story behind Palestine and like how it is and how it came to be and how everyone's like trapped there and you can't travel throughout like Israel. And it's just like wild. So there is a lot of oppression there. But then Hamas it is like a terrorist organization like the Taliban or Al-Qaeda. But they actually gained power, became elected officials through some sort of crooked election, and are literally running it. Not just like how the cartel runs Mexico, but like...
Yeah, they've overtaken this government, whatever government the Palestinians had, and have, kind of left it in like a state of disarray.
Yeah. And they are the ones in charge, and they are the ones representing Palestine, even though there are, computer, how many people live in Palestine?
In 2016, the population of Palestine was 4.55 million people.
In 2016, it was
That's a lot of
4.5 million people.
Yeah, and that's the size of like, New Jersey or something.
Yeah. So all these people live in Palestine that are Palestinians that are oppressed. And it's like, it becomes very, very muddy. And I see why, the World Forum constantly brings up this Israel versus Palestine thing, but has never really done anything to solve it.
It's a sticky situation, like that's exactly what the phrase sticky situation kind of refers to. It's just, like you don't really want to get stuck in it.
But I think that we
caught up in it.
I think that another idea, because we have great ideas for how to tackle this.
I think we've just rattled off like 4 solid.
Yeah, we gave really good ideas, I think, and good possibilities to actually make change. And I think another one would be dosing them with psychedelics. Doing a mass psychedelic dosing. Maybe you fly over like a plane, like a pesticide sprayer plane.
But it's like ketamine instead?
Yeah, ketamine and like LSD, a nice little mixture, like a hippie flip, but with ketamine and acid. And you get everybody dosed up. I mean, the citizens can have some too. It's not going to hurt them. And then all the leaders and all the soldiers and stuff, they all get dosed up. They go in their K-hole and then come out of it, hopefully with a new perspective. And I mean, I know that definitely a few days after I do ketamine and acid mixed together, I just want to stop beefing with everybody.
You feel centered, and you have like
I feel centered.
New take on things.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So, these are all things that can happen, and hopefully next week we have something to report on about that.
Yeah, hopefully some progress has been made.
Mm-hmm. But I know that a lot of progress has been made somewhere that has been stagnant for about 9 months, and that is the Channel 5 YouTube page. Channel 5, friend of the show, Andrew Callahan.
Yeah, disgraced journalist.
Friend of the show.
Andrew Callahan he's emerged from his self-imposed exodus into the deserts. Last year around this time, or it was a little bit later than last year. It was like late last year, right after that movie had come out. He began, being accused of sexual deviancy by all these women, and kind of got canceled. And
he definitely got canceled.
I think he kept quiet and just kind of waited for the smoke to clear a little bit. And it's too early to see whether that's proved to be an effective strategy, but he is back. He has,
it's been long enough.
He's popped out from the shadows and is making content again.
And regular listeners of the show will know that we called this on a recent episode. We said, Andrew Callahan, it's time. All is forgiven. It's time to come back in the spotlight. And, pretty much called it that, this is a thing that is good to happen now.
Yeah.
And then like a week later.
Yeah, he likely heard that and, was like, all right, well, these guys have never steered me wrong in the past. So, he's welcome for that piece of advice. And it's good to see him back making content, so long as he's not pressuring anyone into having sex with them. Like that's, he really has to move on from that.
That is a very it's a stipulation that is going to be.
Yeah, we can't have any more of these allegations coming forward.
But he has a new haircut. He has a new mustache.
Yeah,
and he has a new cameraman. His crew left him.
Yeah,
Nick and Evan.
Yeah, his lifelong friends abandoned him.
Yeah, they were all friends growing up together, and they probably did similar shit. They probably did worse shit. And they're like, if we come back with you, they're going to start digging into us. And we're going to get busted for all of our grapes.
Yeah, they're going to get get canceled. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Grapes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, grapes. Yeah.
Yeah, but
yeah, grapes.
They grapes someone.
Yeah, grapes.
You get it?
Date grape.
Date grape. You got it. So yeah, they left him. It's just him now. He's back. He's doing funny stuff. He's doing, serious journalism stuff. He has rappers on already.
Yep. Yep. I mean, that was always a staple of his work previously, and it's good to see, that that's, has followed him back into this reemergence.
Yep. We've seen 2 rappers already since the relaunch.
Yeah, you had a QAnon rapper, and then you had a pro-Israel rapper.
Yeah. Friend of yours, right?
I wouldn't say friend, like a acquaintance. I've met him a few times, and we've definitely had discussions on Facebook Messenger. A couple of times he's tried to shop me verses. He's like a rapper guy.
Sounds friendly.
Semi well known, I guess, more so than I am or I ever was, but also not very.
Sounds like you guys are friends.
And yeah.
So you support Israel?
No, I didn't say that.
You don't support Israel?
I didn't say that. I haven't made up my mind yet. I'm
Okay.
on the fence. I'm in the progress of learning, and gathering the facts.
Yeah.
And once I gather all the facts, I'm gonna form my own hypothesis.
Yeah.
And come to my own conclusions.
That's a good idea. I'm gonna do that too. I'm gonna do what he said. So Channel 5 triumphant return. I think it's still pretty good. It's still great. I'm enjoying the content.
Yeah.
There's gonna be new episodes every Sunday for 55 weeks.
Is that what he's claiming?
Yeah. So
good for him.
That's exciting.
Yeah,
and yeah. I really wanted to just bring that up to say that we called that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's offering any sort of Apple Music trial, but it's good to see Andrew back. Have him back with us.
Yep. So Crip Mac, who is a stapled Channel 5 staple.
Yeah, he's like a eccentric character in the Channel 5 and No Jumper universes.
Yeah, also overlapping. There's a big Venn diagram with the No Jumper world. Well, I saw him in the promo for what I found out is a new reality show that's coming out. Well, they're about to film it right now. And so are you familiar with the Adam 22 and Lena the Plug saga?
The whole thing with
and Jason Love?
Yeah. I think most people are that are familiar with that, the No Jumper universe by now.
So, just quick rundown for people that don't know. No Jumper is a YouTube channel hosted by Adam 22. He has a wife, Lena the Plug, who is a porn star and OnlyFans model.
Yeah, and they started their own site where it's just basically them banging chicks initially.
Yeah, they interview a girl and then fuck her.
Yeah.
And it's only girls that they have sex with. And if you want to see Lena, if you're a fan of her porn, you can only see her fucking Adam.
That was until they got married. And when they came back from getting married, they made the immediate decision to, she's going to do her own scene with another man. Mm-hmm. They chose Jason Love, who's I guess an established porn star.
Yeah, I never heard of him.
Adam ended up catching a whole lot of flack for that. People just kind of labeling him a cuck and saying he has no integrity, which, I don't know. It's hard to argue that, but
and then he kind of leaned into fighting against that.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh my God!"
It was getting him attention. It was getting people saying his name when previously maybe they weren't doing it so much. So
yeah, they rode the wave. He was like a trending thing,
semi-viral for a minute.
Semi-viral. They got a bunch of new people to sign up just for the month on their OnlyFans. And they were selling the video for $20.
I'm sure they probably made $1 million or some shit off of it. You know what I mean? Nothing insane, but also a good chunk of change. I don't know if it's enough to sacrifice your own integrity or your wife's integrity, but
I think that according to him, after it was all said and done, it sounded like that was part of the plan, that they were gonna do a scene with a male performer and then he was gonna kind of act weird about it and try to once he saw that it was working, he leaned into it. of like making excuses and like coping instead of just owning it.
And then also like the dude that she fucked started going around and doing interviews where he was just kind of like
he was talking hella shit.
Yeah, being like, yeah, you know, I fucked her better than you ever could, and just kind of being like a dick about it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that kind of like helped, you know, fan the flames a little bit.
And the dude looked like he was on meth. So that really didn't make it any better.
Yeah.
Like he was just all like all crazy, spastic, and like sucked up and shit. And that was huge. They made a bunch of money. And then that obviously kind of fizzled out after he rode the whole cuck thing and then admitted to it. And then he said that it was like the most lucrative business move, like the best business move they ever made.
I have the feeling that their finances were all fucked up, and it was like out of necessity. You know,
they
like,
had to.
No jumpers on like the verge of bankruptcy or something like that, and like this was, you know, their way of staying afloat. It's completely possible.
I think so, because he just yesterday or the day before, like 6 no jumper episodes dropped on Spotify, like. At the same time, they just uploaded 6 episodes. He did 6 interviews. They uploaded 6 episodes. And he says that he'll be doing that. He'll be like, yeah, I come in and I'll do like 3 interviews and then I'll go get lunch and then I'll come back and do like 2 more in the afternoon. And then they're just dropping them all, just mass like releasing shit, getting clicks on all of them. Like if instead of once a week, you're uploading 6 a day.
Shout out in the comments below if you want to see this show happen 6 times a day.
6 times a day? That would be fucking crazy. We could do that.
I mean, you guys would really have to fund that to make that happen.
So what we would do is we would probably cut the show down to 35 minutes, and we would do like a
like 2 intervals of 90 minutes. I think we could like pull off 90 minutes at a time twice a day and then just chop them into, you know, 6 hours.
See, I'm thinking show up at 5 a.m.
Oh no, see, that's not going to work for me.
5 a.m. We unwind, we get loose, you know, we have some coffee.
There's no way I could be up at 5 a.m.
Then, well, this is
like
this is
11 a.m. is going to be tough.
If you prepare yourself,
okay,
then 5 a.m. Get loose, get goose. Then we record from 6:15 all the way till midnight. We do constant records, and every 35 minutes we go, we'll see you next week. Yo, welcome to the Natural Habitat Podcast.
And Jerry's just all the while, he's just chopping it, dropping it, dropping it, dropping it.
Yep. And we just create all of these episodes that are all self-contained.
It's like a conveyor belt
at the same time.
Where we're just like, you know, chopping it up, and it just
maybe
goes
we'll
down
change
the conveyor
too.
belt and it falls off the.
We'll say, see you next week. Then we'll change. Then we'll say, yo, welcome to the Natural Habitat Podcast.
Yeah.
And then we're going to drop them all that day. Off the conveyor belt, hot off the presses, they say.
Yeah.
We're going to put them all out. You're going to watch them all. And then by the time you finish them, we're going to have 6 more that are ready.
Yeah, we're going to keep feeding you and feeding you and feeding you.
like
torture.
Method
Man. Yeah.
So, yeah, sound off if you want that, if you would be into 6 episodes.
And how much are you willing to pay for that? Because someone's going to have to.
Yeah, this is going to be on OnlyFans. This isn't going to be a YouTube exclusive.
No, certainly not.
We talked, I think, didn't we do a whole episode about Fishtank?
But where were you going with the Adam 22 story? I feel like we didn't.
Oh, yeah, fuck. I didn't get to the end of the Adam 22 story.
I'm curious now.
Okay, check it out. So, Adam 22, they got this fame, they got this glory, this short-lived thing from this stuff. It started fizzling out. How do you top it, you know? If she can't just do another scene with another guy.
She's doing a scene with Crip Mac. Is that the gist of it?
Now, potentially, because Crip Mac is allegedly one of the contestants in a new reality game show that they're playing.
Oh, where the winner gets
where a bunch of contestants, a bunch of guys, celebrities, YouTube people, porn stars, all live in this house for like a month because Danny Mullen was talking about it on his podcast, and he said that he turned it down. They invited him too, but he turned it down because the commitment was so long. So they're living in this house for like a month or 2 months, doing this competition, and then whoever wins gets to be the next guy to fuck Lena in a video.
That's funny.
So God knows what the fuck they're gonna do in this competition, because
you really got to be rooting for Crip Mac though. I mean, like he's got to be the people's favorite.
If he's smart, then they'll release it on their OnlyFans and not have it be like a YouTube show, and people will have to sign up to their OnlyFans to watch it, and then they could have like hella porn stars and just lean into it like they do with Plug Talk.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea, honestly. Like, I'd be curious to watch the reality show portion of it.
I would subscribe to watch it.
Yeah.
I would definitely wait till they all came out, and then I would subscribe, binge them all within that month.
Yeah, you got to get it in the month. You don't want to pay for 2.
No. You don't want to, because then if you pay for 2, then you're going to forget, and then it's just going to charge you forever. And 2 years later, you're going to be like, what the fuck? I'm being charged by Adam22.
Yeah, I've given him $3,400 over the course of 2 years.
Yeah. And it's not worth that.
No.
But that show does sound lit, and I'm excited to see that. And Crip Mac is one of the contestants. Yeah, that's going to be wild.
That's going to be funny for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of reality shows, though. Speaking of reality shows,
oh, that
was kind of like a segue
to what?
To Fishtank.
Fishtank. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Wait, hit me again.
Speaking of reality shows, though.
Oh yeah, that's right. Fishtank. We did a whole episode about it.
Yeah, when it was being filmed, we were kind of watching the production of it happen, and now that production's been edited and released.
Yeah. This was a live streaming. You go to the website, you could pick what camera you look at. All these people were trapped in this house. The windows are painted shut. They can't go outside. They can't see outside. They don't go outside, and no weed were like the rules. Yeah,
this isn't like a real world type situation where it's like plush accommodations or whatever. This is like a shitty little house. They didn't have a whole lot of amenities, and they kind of fucked with the people all throughout it.
Yeah, it was like psychological warfare on these people.
It's not enjoyable.
You as the chat could leave a comment, and it would be read over the loudspeaker to the whole house. And then you could also fuck with people, like take their bed away for the night.
Yeah, people were able to pay to like mess with these people or
mess with the whole house.
Situations in the house. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was just like this crazy shit show that we were watching Raw live go down, and watching like best of
in real
videos.
Time, watching it all go down.
And now that show has been released. Episode 1. At least has been released on YouTube. I don't know if the rest of it is going to be exclusively available like on his website.
Yeah, I was curious about that myself. I mean,
or if they're going to drop every week.
I don't know. I assume he's trying to recoup some of that money somehow. I don't know, but they're already talking about doing a season 2, so I'm assuming that like he either has a deal in place for it or he managed to make it lucrative.
I think they're like starting season 2 any day now. But let's see how many views this first episode has. Do you want to guess?
I'm going to guess under 100,000.
Well, it's not far over. It's 148,000.
Okay.
Which is low if they're trying to recoup some of this money.
Yeah, well, Sam Hyde for one, I imagine he's like relatively shadow banned for a lot of his content.
Well, no, because I think a lot of their money was made during the show with chat, right?
Yeah, I don't know exactly how much, but like I know they probably, I don't know. Actually, I saw some statistic on like the trailer or something like about how much they raised throughout it, but.
I wonder if Sam Hyde is even like mentioned on this channel or like in the tags or the metadata, you know?
Jason Goldstriker?
Yeah, he's probably only mentioned as Jason Goldstriker. Yeah, that's all it says in the description. Oh no, created by Sam Hyde and Jet Neptune. So their names are in it. So if anything with him is banned or shadow banned on YouTube, then it's in there. But I think a lot of it was made off of, because you could pay like $20 to deliver someone a bag of chips, you know, like
Yeah. I think it was more expensive than that, but
Yeah.
that's the gist.
I think it was
of
a
the
lot more than that.
concept. Yeah, it was,
And especially
expensive.
stuff like taking away someone's bed.
Yeah, it was like $500 or something like that, maybe more.
Yeah. Like taking away someone's bed for $500, there's no overhead on that. Like you don't have to buy anything.
Yeah, that's all profit margin.
So it's weird we watched this whole show like fly on the wall style, and it's weird to see it in 4K
Right.
produced like a reality show. It's a trip.
Yeah, so check that out.
And also go back and listen to that Fishtank episode. You can
Yeah.
go back and
If you go back and listen to that episode now, we're giving out a 4-week Apple Music trial. So that's, a little incentive to check that episode out and get yourself on Apple Music for that lossless audio.
okay, yeah. I like that. Man, I was really excited about the lossless audio, and then it was hard because I'm kind of like in the dark in Apple Music and I have to search for stuff, whereas Spotify gives me what I want already.
Spotify knows you. The algorithm is, tailored to your musical tastes.
So I think there's got to be a way to transfer your Spotify library to Apple Music.
Well, I don't think Spotify would let that happen. You know what
think so?
I mean? No, they're not gonna let all that data send it over to Apple.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like that's their private data.
Yeah, they're pretty much just handing
Here,
over to
Spotify. Yeah, here, take all of his likes and dislikes.
Well, I mean, there's got to be a way that they could just rip it and not have to be given the information.
Yep.
If you make your library public or whatever.
Yep, you rip it and skip it.
Rip it and skip it, yeah. But I tried for a while and then I just couldn't. I couldn't do it. I was more comfortable.
So you're still on Spotify?
I'm still on Spotify. But I still have Apple Music for 6 months, and I might, I listen to Apple Podcasts.
What about Pandora?
No.
You're not going to go to Pandora?
I hate Pandora.
What about iHeartRadio?
No.
What about Tidal?
I have thought about Tidal because Tidal also has lossless.
I did a Tidal trial at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or no, yeah, it was a Tidal trial, and that was back when you could only get the Jay-Z catalog on Tidal. That was why I did it.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. I think I got the trial during that, too.
But now you can listen to Jigga on Spotify, so there's no sense in it.
Yeah, most things you could listen to on Tidal now. And they're supposed to have lossless audio, but, I don't know. And Tidal was expensive, I think.
Yeah, I feel like Tidal's like the T-Mobile of the audio streamings, or just like the unnecessary third party.
Yeah,
and obviously, like then you have like a lot of lower tier ones. But
computer, how much is Tidal?
That was played that funky music by Wild Cherry.
Okay.
Computer, how much does the streaming service Tidal cost?
From epicstream.com. However, prices for this streaming service currently start at $6.99 per month, or $69.99 for the whole year. Did that answer your question?
No.
Thanks for your feedback.
He's been a bitch.
Oh, yeah. Say what up to Smart Plug.
Yeah, Smart Plug's here. We turned off his communicators, so he is not going to be saying any crazy shit.
Yeah, especially with us like talking about like Israel and Palestine. We couldn't afford for him to pipe in on that and say something just disgusting.
No, but he is still hooked up to Starlink, and he still is doing his whole like listening and watching thing.
Yeah.
So do you have anything else that we wanted to talk about before we get out of here? Halloween's next week.
Halloween's next week, so we're gonna have a Halloween spooktacular, our annual Halloween episode.
Yep,
it's gonna be a lot
so
of
wear
fun.
your
It's gonna be real
costumes.
spooky. Possibly scary. I don't know. Probably just more spooky than scary.
Spooky, yeah. It's gonna be campy, more campy than it is like actual
like a
horror.
Munsters episode,
Yeah.
as opposed to like a serious horror type deal.
Mm-hmm. So you're not going to get scared, but wear your costumes when you listen to it. When you tune in next week, make sure that you're costumed up. We're going to be able to tell.
Yeah.
It tells us on the stats,
absolutely.
On our analytics. That's going to be lit. And if you guys have, if you guys already have your costume sound off, let us know what it is.
Yeah, if you talk to Free Candy, let them know, to hit us up. We're
Yeah, we don't know if Canada can hear this.
Yeah.
We have no idea. We haven't heard from Canada at all. And that's it.
That's about it.
And we love you.
Natural Habitat Recordings.